Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go through my comedy DVDs with you, and for some strange reason I actually have a lot of comedy movies. I've never really been into collecting comedy, especially when I was in my previous physical collections. I've never been a comedy person, I've always been a horror person. So it kind of, it's weird to me that I've got all these comedy movies. But anyway, look, let's go through them and I'll show you my little collection. Okay, so I'm going to start with one that is played every single New Year's Eve, or it is in South Africa. It's only 11 minutes long, and it's called Dinner for One. Have any of you seen this? It's a really, really funny, it's only 11 minutes, guys, and in 11 minutes you get the most hysterical farce. Okay, I'm going to sneeze, hold on. Oh my God, excuse me. It's freezing outside here in Durban. In South Africa, in Durban, it's just so cold. It's like 14 degrees out here. Anyway, this is so funny. It's about an elderly lady who has a dinner party for her deceased friends, and of course she set the table up, and she has her butler pour wine for everyone. Then they have pork. Then they have this at each course, dinner course, and of course he has to take part as each person. So he gets absolutely blind drunk. As the story progresses, and it's just hysterical. He keeps tripping over this lion rug or bear rug that they've got there, and it's just so funny. Okay, so if you haven't seen this, try and see it. And I think it's in the public domain, so I think you can see it on YouTube. It's only 11 minutes long. Have a look at it. I then have something really interesting. I have this film. It's The Wizard of Oz. Okay, and it stars Oliver Hardy. You know, Laurel and Hardy. Now, it's not actually Laurel and Hardy, it's only Oliver Hardy, okay? And it's a very, very early, in fact, it's probably one of the earliest versions of The Wizard of Oz. And again, it's not very long. It doesn't tell you how long it is, but it's not very long. And he plays the Tin Man, okay, in this. It's not really worth watching unless you're a film buff and you absolutely want to see something like this. It's not something I would watch like all the time, but it's something that I like to have in my collection because I will watch it again. It is funny and it is fun, and it is a film that is historically relevant, okay, simply because of when it was made and how it was made. And actually has a good story behind it. Go and look it up on YouTube. So it's Oliver Laurel, The Wizard of Oz. Okay. I then have a really cool film called His Girl Friday, okay, and it's about this guy who, played by Cary Grant, who, his ex-wife is a reporter, okay, and he has to like con her into doing a final sort of report on a convicted murderer, and it's just crazy, you know. Things go very wrong, and then he has to help her, and oh my God, the murderer gets away, and it's just really, really funny. Again, it's a farce. It's a really funny film. It's something that I'm really pleased to have in my physical collection, because this sort of thing is quite expensive if you order it, and it's not readily available like in South Africa in the second-hand bins. Anyway, so I've got that. Then I've got one of my favorite films. It's got Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong, and one of my favorite actresses from this period, Celeste Holm. Okay. It's called High Society. And it says at the top that it's a musical, but it's not really a musical. I haven't put this in with my musicals because I don't think it's the same as sort of The Phantom of the Opera or West Side Story or The King and I. This is more a comedy film with musical numbers in it. So I don't regard this as a musical. It's absolute hijinks that happens at this wedding where this guy's marrying this girl and he's not really happy about it and blah, 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 blah. So it's one of those films, you know, and of course it has a wonderful happy ending for everybody. Definitely, definitely worth getting. And I like mine because it's got a little pamphlet in it, and the pamphlet has got a couple of stills from the film, which I like. You know, I like shit like this. Come on. Okay, so it's got a couple of stills from. I'm just sorry this isn't a booklet. That would have been really cool. Anyway, so that's my High Society. And then the last one I've got in this kind of time period is a very well-known Cary Grant film called Arsenic and Old Lace. based on a very well-known play. This is absolutely hysterical. It's about these two elderly ladies who run a boarding house. And what they do is they take guys in, old elderly gentlemen in to stay with them. And they get them to sign like the papers, but it's not really the papers. It's like their will or something. And then they kill them. They kill them and they take their money. And Cary Grant is the nephew of one of the old ladies, and he comes to visit and he discovers this, and it's just hysterical what he has to do to try and cover things up. And then his girlfriend arrives, and it's just brilliant. This is, I would say, one of the funniest films I've seen from this period in a long, long time. So if you can get your hands on this, or if you can watch it, please do. It's well worth your time. Okay, this is well worth your time. All right, so moving on from there, I want to show you these two Robin Williams films that I've got. The first one is Hook. Okay, it's a really cool film. This film got really sort of shat on when it came out, and I don't see why. It's really good. It's basically the Peter Pan story. Okay, but it focuses more on the character of Hook than Peter Pan, and it's got a good cast. It's got Dustin Hoffman. Okay, he plays Hook. Then it's got Robin Williams, who plays Peter Pan, Julia Roberts and Bob Hoskins. I can't remember who Julia Roberts plays. I think she's Tinkerbell. It's not a children's. This is not really a children's story. It is a comedy, but I would say this is slightly leaning more towards the adult section of, well, not adult section. You know what I mean? That would be a very, very untimely, weird sort of adult section. Hook. Okay, it leans more towards the adult movie side. It's not really for kids, but it is funny. It is funny. So, yeah. And I'm not a huge fan of Robin Williams, by the way, and I seem to have one or two films that have got him in. So that's Hook. I then have Jumanji. Okay, it's the original Jumanji, not that shit thing that The Rock acted in. So this is really cool. I really, really enjoy this. It's just one of those films you can pop on and you can sit down and you just check your mind in at the door. It's total fantasy. It's about these kids who go into this video game, or it's about this, and this guy comes out of the video game and he brings all the animals with him, and then the kids go into it's just really, really fun. Okay, so if you haven't seen the original Jumanji, please don't watch those two things with The Rock and that hideous little short guy. What's his name? Jack Black. Awful act. I just can't. My skin crawls. Get this one. This is the one. This is the one to get. All right. Then I have two Mel Brooks films. Do you know who Mel Brooks is? Anyway, if you don't know who Mel Brooks is, go and see who he is. Go look him up, and you'll be surprised. Okay. The first one I have is called Silent Movie. Now, I saw this many, many years ago, and it's literally a silent movie, okay? But it's a modern silent movie, and all kind of weird shit happens in this. I can't even tell you what the story is about. It's just about these people making this silent movie, and it's brilliant. Mel Brooks films they're an acquired taste. They're kind of like Monty Python, but they are absolutely brilliant. And this one in particular is very, very good. And I think it's just the one disc. There are three that are Mel Brooks films that are absolutely brilliant. There's this one. There's one called The Producers, which I want to get. And then there's this, which is extremely famous. And it's a film that you will never, ever be able to get away with making these now. It would never, ever pass it would be banned everywhere. It's a film called Blazing Saddles. It is a satire on, not satire, but it's kind of like, it's about this black sheriff who takes over this town, and of course in those days there were not black sheriffs, and there was a lot of racism, and the N-word is used in here like you cannot believe, but it's not a racial slur. So the best way to understand this film is to actually watch it. It is an absolute cult classic, and it's probably Mel Brooks's most famous movie. It's probably the most talked about movie because it's so unorthodox and so funny. And there's a song and dance number by Madeline Kahn, who acts in a lot of his movies, that is absolutely hysterical. She's channeling Marlene Dietrich, and this is everything. This is everything. Go and get it. You will literally piss yourself laughing at this, unless you've got a carrot up your arse, in which case you'll be extremely offended. Okay, moving swiftly on, I have a couple of like bits and pieces. I'm going to go through these two because I've actually spoken about them before in my gay cinema thing. I've got Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and yes, it is a comedy, but it's a poignant comedy. So I've got that. It's very cool. I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's got Terence Stamp, God rest his soul, Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Bill Hunter. Bill Hunter's an interesting character because obviously this is Australian, and Bill Hunter is a very interesting actor. He acts in movies where you'll look and you think, I know him. God, I know that face, but you have no idea who the actor actually is. Anyway, the actor's name is Bill Hunter. And in this, he plays the part of the older guy who ends up with the Chinese, or with the Taiwanese or Chinese wife. Anyway, so I've got that. I then also have The Birdcage. It's the remake of La Cage aux Folles. It's also got Robin Williams in it, by the way. It's got Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, and Diane Weist. Weist. I'm sure you pronounce it Weist. Oh, I pronounce it Weist. Yeah, anyway, those are the people in it. Okay, do you recognize them? Of course you do. Okay, so this is just very funny. It's a farce. Really, really fun. Really fun. I then have two really cool Peter Sellers films. I am not a Peter Sellers fan. I only have these two because these are the only two films that I really enjoy. And the first one I'm sure you've all heard of is The Pink Panther. You see, it comes in I found it in this like little thing. I think this DVD was part of a set, and that's why it's in like this tiny little jewel case. I think it was part of a set. Anyway, it's The Pink Panther, and it is obviously very, very funny. If you don't know what the Pink Panther movies are about, I'm not going to go into detail here, except to completely ruin it for you and tell you that the Pink Panther is not a panther. It is a diamond, a very large diamond. And Peter Sellers plays the part of the bumbling Inspector Clouseau, and he has to find this diamond, and he's up against all kinds of diamond thieves and all kinds of stuff. This is probably his most famous film, okay? And apparently he wasn't a very nice man. If you can go and have a look online on YouTube, there's a documentary about Peter Sellers. Well, there are a couple, but he actually wasn't a very nice man. And it's very interesting that he plays these actually quite likable characters. Anyway, so The Pink Panther. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Why have you not seen it? And then the other Peter Sellers film that I really, really enjoy is The Party. This is about this, he plays, and it's terrible, he does blackface here, which again, you could never get away with it today. He plays an Indian, and he's British, by the way. He plays an Indian actor who, he's a terrible actor, and he ends up at this party that he's not invited to, and it's all the mayhem that he causes at this party. And it's just absolutely hysterical. There's a baby elephant involved, and there's foam involved, and it's one of those crazy, crazy films that everything he does just turns into a fucking disaster. And it's well worth getting this movie or seeing this movie. So those are really the only two Peter Sellers films I'm interested in. So those go into my collection. Then, oh God, I've been toying with this. Where do I put it? Do I put it in with this? Is it a horror movie? Isn't it? But I've put it in with my comic movies. It stars Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Can you guess what movie it is? Yes, it's The Witches of Eastwick. This movie it's got a lot, obviously it's witches, so it's got a lot of like witchy stuff in it, but it's also hysterically funny in a very dark way. It's very darkly comedic, which is why I have put it into my comedy films. Now, it's about this guy who is Jack Nicholson plays the devil or a demon, I don't know, and the other three play witches, and it's how they kind of get back at him for being such a puss, basically. It is very funny, it is very dark, and it is very, very well worth your time to watch it. Okay, and then lastly, before I go on to my British comedy, please don't judge me for this, okay? I know you're going to judge me, but don't. I have a Mike Myers film. Now, I don't like Mike Myers at all. I don't like the gold member films or any of that. I really don't. They're too over the top. But this film has got Justin Timberlake, Jessica Alba, and Mariska Hargitay. Mariska Hargitay is I think she was in Law and Order, one of those TV programs. Anyway, it's called The Love Guru. This is a very guilty pleasure of mine. I have seen this movie about 8 times. My husband and I fucking love this movie. He actually introduced me to this movie. I'd never heard of it. And he said, you have to watch this. And I was like, oh God, Mike Myers, that's all I need. Anyway, I humored him and I have fallen in love with this film. I have seen it so many times since then. It is hysterical. He plays this part of this like bullshit guru. But so much happens in this film. Every time I won't spoil it. I won't spoil the Mariska Hargitay joke for you because you really should watch this. Please don't. It is a terrible film. It's cringy, but please watch it. It's so funny at the same time. But it's the kind of, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's your kind of comedy or it's not. And I'm afraid that it's my kind of comedy. So anyway, The Love Guru. All right. Now, I was going to do this in a separate video, but I thought, fuck it. I'm actually just going to do this with you guys. I am going to come back to one or two of these sets in a later video. Why am I moving these things around? But I want to share, these are my British box set movies that I have. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 TV shows and then one, which I'm going to start with, not TV show. So British humor is very much an acquired taste, especially for Americans. Americans are used to, you guys are used to very sort of slapstick humor. Think Laurel and Hardy, think Buster Keaton, that sort of thing. Think the Three Stooges, not Laurel and Hardy, they're British, but think the Three Stooges, that sort of humor. It's your humor tends to be very slapstick. And if you think about things like Friends and How I Met Your Mother and that sort of thing, you tend to, I don't know, your humor is just very, very different. And don't get me wrong, I love American humor. I mean, I really do. That one with that woman Karen who always speaks like this. What was that? Will and Grace. Will and Grace. Loved Will and Grace. It was really fun. So yes, I like American comedy, not all of it, but some of it. But I am very, very much into British comedy. And I'm going to start you off with, oh shit, passport. Okay, I'll just play. So this is Monty Python, the movies. If you don't know who Monty Python are, go and check them out. Go and look who they are. Go and look them up. They've been around for years and years and years. And this is the 4 films. The first one is, the first one I'm going to tell is The Meaning of Life, okay? That's just a whole skit on basically the meaning of life. Then you have Life of Brian, which is about a guy who gets born in the manger next door to Jesus, and everybody goes to the wrong manger, and manger, and they actually think he's Jesus, and he literally runs. They regard him as the Christ and the Savior, and he runs around going like, I am not Jesus, I'm not God, I'm not the God. Anyway, it's quite funny. And then the other one is Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is all set in medieval times, and they are a bunch of knights, and they are looking for the Holy Grail, which is the cup that they say Jesus drank the Last Supper out of. And then there is a Now for Something Completely Different, which is one of the first ones they brought out, and it's kind of like, it's just a vignette of like a collection of little skits, okay? The most famous one is The Dead Parrot. I'm talking to like 3% of you if you know who Monty Python is. But this is quite a nice little thing. So I picked this up for virtually nothing. and it's like that, and then it pulls out, which is really cool. And then it's got like, because it's got the cover there, and then it's got like little pictures from the little stills from the films. And then it opens up like this. It's just, I think it's really cool. And it's got, look here, it's just so cool. It's got 6 discs, okay? So the 4 movies and then 2 discs chock full of extras for all 4 movies. So it's just, it's a really nice set. And I got it, it's a bit tatty, it's been around, okay? The box is not the best, as you can see. But I like this. I'm not too precious about that sort of thing, you know, like the box has to be absolutely 100% perfect. I know these are used DVDs, and I know that if I had to buy this new, I don't think you can get this new anyway, this particular version, but if I had to buy this new, it would have cost me a huge amount of money. All right, so I'm just blessed that I got this for £2.50. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with the discs. And then my latest purchase is a TV program called Porridge. It's by the BBC, and again, this is very much British humor. All these are very much British humor. They're British programs. If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you don't like British humor, you're not, especially this, you're going to hate it. It's about a guy who is sent to prison, and the whole thing is centered in the prison, and it's how he it's kind of like how he bullshits his way around prison and gets the superintendent on his side and in his pocket. And it's just a really fun series. Now, what I like about British series is, okay, so let me show you first. There it is. And then, of course, it comes with the different, this is the entire series, okay? So it's got season 1, 2, 3, and then the Christmas special. British comedy normally has a Christmas special. I don't know if any of you have watched Downton Abbey. All right, they came out every year. They'd have a Christmas special, which is kind of completely a separate, like little movie. All right, so this has got the Christmas special. Now, this is again, you won't get this easily. All right, it's not easily obtainable. And again, I got this for 10 Rand. Okay, it's definitely worth watching if you are into British comedy. However, if you are not into British comedy, or you don't understand the type of, like, what happens in British comedy, because it's very different to American comedy. If you don't understand like the way British comedy is set up, you're not going to enjoy this. All right. Anyway, so it's called Porridge. All right, as in they only serve you porridge in jail. Okay, very, very good. Love it. Blah blah. That was my latest. I got it like a week ago. Okay, then we have a lovely. This is the complete series. All these are complete series, by the way. It's called Father Ted, and I think even Americans have heard of this, because I think you guys, there was an American version of this, like a remake, but it only was like for 1 season because it fell flat. American remakes of British stuff, you've done a lot of them. They just don't. It's not the same. British humor is very, very difficult to translate, and when it translates, it just becomes slapstick. And none of these films are slapstick. They have heart to them. Anyway, this is about Father Ted, who is kind of exiled to this tiny little village, okay, and he's there with 3 other priests, okay. They all live in this house, and they've all done something wrong. The one old priest is an alcoholic, and so they've kind of just shifted him out. And it's the funny things of what these guys get up to, these priests get up to. And I know that sounds, please get your mind out the gutter, because that does sound terrible, but this is a very, very well-known and very funny series. It is, I'm very excited about this, because it's got like everything. It's got all the series. Okay, so it looks like that. It's got all the discs, okay, the whole series, and it also has over 2 hours of specials, which I kind of like. With British comedy, and they say you get specials, I mean, you really get specials. They give you all kind, not just like director's commentary and stuff like that. They really give you specials like the making of, interviews with the people, a documentary on the history of this and the history of the town that it's set in and blah blah. So this is again very well worth watching. Americans will get this. You guys will get this. You guys will laugh at this. You'll think it's really funny. Okay. I'm keeping the best for last. Okay, so then I don't think any of you will have seen this. It was on TV in South Africa many years ago, and it's a very famous British comedy series, and it's called One Foot in the Grave. Okay. Now, this lady here, this actress, also acts in one of my other box sets that I'm going to show you later. It is 6 seasons plus, here we go, the Christmas special. All right. This lady's name is Annette Crosby. She's a very famous British actress, and I will show you she's in one of these other things. Now, this is literally the entire, okay, it's the entire series, and it is about this grumpy old man, all right, Richard Wilson, the actor's Richard Wilson, there he is. He's grumpy, he's just been forced into retirement, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And of course, she's his long-suffering wife, and he gets up to all kinds of hijinks. And it is literally, what I love about British comedy is that, not only British comedy, British series, is that they know when to stop. In America, and I'm going to take Lost as an example, it just your series just go on and fucking on. I mean, Lost, I don't know how many episodes, how many seasons did that have? Look at ER. I mean, my God, I think you're on like 23 seasons or something ridiculous. British stuff just has the thing. This has got, okay, this is quite hectic. Okay, this is 6. Okay, that's not bad. It's 6 seasons. Okay, but it's really funny, and each episode is only 25 minutes long or half an hour long. So it's very watchable. It's very quickly watchable, and it's definitely one of the. This was one of the very first box sets that I actually bought because I loved this, and it hasn't lost any of its charm for me. So that's One Foot in the Grave. Then I have something here. This is actually not British. This is a very interesting set. It's called Mrs. Brown's Boys. Okay, and you can see it. This is the really big box. Okay, it's only 3 seasons. There are only 3 seasons. Plus, it has 11 Christmas specials and the live episodes. So this is just. How does it open? Oh, it's one of those. It's one of these. These I don't like. I think I've shown you. I don't like these horrible things because the discs tend to slip out. But don't you like this disc art? I think it's really cool. It's nice and bright, you know. I think it's nice and bright, so it's cool. This is quite a controversial series because everyone in Britain, it's regarded as the lowest ranking series ever. It's about this. It's this guy who he dresses in drag as Mrs. Brown. Okay, so he becomes like a Mrs. Doubtfire. He's Mrs. Doubtfire, but I mean, the character is the mother, and then he has his sons and his daughters and his next door neighbors and his father, the grandfather. This is a lovely character. The only thing he ever does is sit in a chair and mumble. He never has any lines, but they use him as, like, she'll say something funny to him and then he'll like mumble. So this is very, very British. It's not actually British. It is, oh fuck man. It's Irish or something. I'm not too sure. Or Welsh or something. Anyway, people hate this. This is very much an acquired taste because the entire film is shot in the studio, okay, but it's shot. You watch it, but you also they ad lib and they fluff their lines, and so you see all of that. All right. It's worth watching 1 or 2 episodes. I doubt anybody's going to be able to sit through the entire series like I can, okay, unless you are very into weird, kind of very slapstick, very strange humor, okay. But this is definitely, if you are into that sort of thing, try get hold of this. It's called Mrs. Brown's Boys. Okay. And then I've left this one for last. Oh, let's put this here. I've left this for last because I have spoken about this before. And it is still sealed. Okay. This is a very, very famous and this is probably my favorite British comedy series of all time. All right. It's called Keeping Up Appearances, and it is about this woman, Mrs. Bouquet, and her husband, and she wants to live basically above her means. She comes from absolute trash, okay, but she is now pretending to be this Doran of the neighborhood, and she has this she thinks she's a good thing, okay, and she has this family who are absolute trash, like absolute trash, okay. There's her family there, okay, that's her family there, so you can imagine, like true trash, okay. Trailer park, man, serious, worse than trailer park. British trailer park is worse than normal trailer park. And this is a complete collection, seasons 1 to 5. There are only 5 seasons, and it's got 40 episodes plus 5 hours of special features. All right, and it is just absolutely hysterical. There's scenes where she invites people over for candlelit dinners. Nobody likes her. Everybody, when they see her coming, they literally run. If you haven't seen this, you really are missing out on a fantastic comedy. And I don't believe you need to be British to see this. I don't believe you need to be into British comedy. This is just a really, really good comedy. American, British, Portuguese, doesn't matter where you come from. This is definitely worth getting, okay? So this is one of my favorite. In fact, this is my favorite comedy series of all time. And that is my comedy collection, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I am going to come back with I'm going to go through these again at some stage, because quite a few of these are out of print, and I'm going to go through my out of print DVDs in another episode. So yeah, those are my comedy things. What do you guys think? Do you like them? Would you watch The Love Guru? Please do. It's hysterical. Yeah, I think I'll see you in the next reel. Bye.